Alright, welcome back guys to another video. Today I'm actually going to be changing it up a little bit in terms of starting out the video. I'm not going to be inside the gunsmith. I'll just kind of be in the middle of gameplay, kind of making it to where it's a little bit shorter than usual. So you guys don't, spend like a minute or two just looking at a gun on the main menu and me starting up another game. But I want to go over a little bit of differences between two SMGs that are essentially assault rifles, and kind of the difference between the two and how they're really solid. So
Now then.
And those are going to be the two I'm showing right here. So I have the Striker 45, which I was going to be making a video on its own, but I might as well go ahead and compare it to the other technically actual assault rifle that's for some reason in the SMG category. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first build I'm going to be running for the Striker, I'm using a low zoom optic. You don't need to run it if you don't want to. The iron sights is pretty okay, especially for it being an SMG, so that's really up to you guys. You can swap that around wherever you want to. The Muzzle Break, I'm using that for side-to-side bounce, and it has a lower rate of fire, so it can recenter faster for the recoil stabilization, so that does actually recenter your gun a little bit more, your barrel. The 400mm stainless steel barrel, or the longest one that you have, for the most amount of recoil control you can get and range. And that's actually something I'll be going over for this gun, because its main really good pro for this kind of gun is its range. The underbarrel being the operator foregrip to help out the most amount with recoil control out of all the other underbarrel attachments aside from the commando foregrip, but that helps out with recoil stabilization. And any kind of other attachment to help out in speed. Again, if you don't want to run the optic, you can put it over to like a laser or the grip, wherever you want to do it for that. So you can run that, and that essentially makes it to where that using its normal magazine, it's 45 ACP rounds, not the 45 hollow point rounds or its conversion, but you can use that. It has a 25 round magazine, very similar to the AUG, but I am running the 32 round extended mag on the AUG right now, so it's not really needed.
Join the rest.
But I want to go over that. So essentially this gun will now be a laser beam assault rifle. So it's turning a 9mm SMG into an assault rifle. And what's really cool about the UMP or the Striker 45, that it is fairly fast. It is in the SMG category, and it has handling speeds much like an SMG. It might be slightly on the slower end in some cases, but it's not really that different. It's kind of in the same line as the AUG. So as you can see here, like, they both aim about the same. They're in the same category of it's like the battle rifle version of an SMG. So you normally have your 5.56 rifles, or like for your ARs, they're like the standard 4-shot kill, 5 to 6 shot kind of deal at longer ranges. Then you have your battle rifles like the Scar or the AK and the Odin and stuff like that, way harder hitting ones, but slower fire rate, and they can hit harder at longer ranges and keep up a smaller time to kill for that, but they're not as forgiving. So obviously, as you can see, the AUG and the Striker 45 shoot obviously way slower than the other SMGs by a pretty noticeable amount. So you can see the comparison between the two. So that's the line where they fall into. So you can easily make it to where they are extending to be more of an actual assault rifle, while the battle rifles are supposed to be this weird blend between a DMR and an automatic rifle. So you can kind of get the idea for that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So that is obviously going to be the Striker 45. Its main strength is range. It'll actually go up to with the longest barrel it has on here, and the monolithic if you wanted to apply that to this as well, but you don't really need to. It will have the same range as all the other 5.56 rifles while it's using 9mm rounds, and it does shoot fairly fast to where it does have a really high time to kill, or not a really high time to kill, real short time to kill, really fast time to kill there, to where it's pretty dang good. It's a really underrated kind of gun, and it's in the kind of like the weird, real light kind of class setup as the M13, but it hits harder. So it does have a 3-shot kill potential despite it shooting this fast, which is about the same as the AK, I guess, in a sense. So you can run that. So it has a 3-shot kill range, which extends a lot longer than any other battle, I want to say battle rifle SMG or heavier SMGs. especially the AUG. So it does have that going for it. Aside from that, there's not really anything else that's really drawing it back. There is a large amount of idle sway. I will say that that's like the only real thing that it really struggles at is getting real long or like real accurate shots off at longer ranges, despite it having the best range. It does have its own stock that you can put on there to make it to where that the aiming stability is extremely good, to where it won't move a muscle just from one attachment, but it will weigh down your gun a lot. So obviously you can mix and match the attachments a little bit to kind of offset that, but that's really up to you guys. This is my all-around kind of build. Like I said, I don't really mind the idle sway that much for the ranges that I'm using it at right now, so that'll be up to you. And I just want to go over that. It's the best gun for longer ranges, and it's the closest thing that you can really get to being a 3-shot kill SMG for the longest range without using an ammo conversion. The Uzi is going to be like the longest range 3-shot kill SMG in the game if it has an ammo conversion on there, but this is without using attachments to get that kind of range. It already has a 3-shot kill range by default, so you don't need to worry about that.
Justice.
The AUG is a bit different. It does still have a 3-shot kill potential, but it's in a way lower area or way lower range, so it's kind of in the same area as the SMG kind of category. So like most of the time for the SMG, like effective like 5 to 6 shot kill area, which is normally how many shots you'll need to take. And I think it drops off to 7 shots at longer ranges. But in that short range, you actually do get yourself a 3-shot kill potential, which is really good. Especially from like right there, you'll be able to melt people pretty well. So it does have a assault rifle kind of damage output to it, but it's not as long range as a Striker 45. And that is one technical drawback to it. However, there is a couple things that you can change around through an ammo conversion on here, which will switch it over to 5.56, but I don't really use that a whole lot. But essentially what that will do is make it to where it's going to be obviously more like an assault rifle, but the 9mm rounds, I'll use this more than the actual 5.56 rounds, and I'll talk about that. So the 9mm rounds, it will obviously, when you have that on there, it'll have the fastest fire rate, and it's pretty solid. Obviously, again, like it is shooting slower than most other SMGs, but it does have that hard stopping power or 3-shot kill potential to that. If you put on the 50, or not the 50, the 5.56 NATO rounds, or the standard, assault rifle round for most of the, I guess, standard like assault rifles and stuff, you will get a little bit slower fire rate. So you will obviously notice that it is shooting a little bit slower than the 9mm ones, even though it's not stated. So there is a decrease to fire rate in there, and that is something that I don't really recommend using a whole lot. But with the 5.56 rounds, you would normally think, okay, when you put this thing on, it'll extend the 3-shot kill range because it is a lot harder hitting round, and it will actually have the same bullet velocity as all the other assault rifles and stuff. It does have the bullet velocity of other assault rifles when you put this on. However, it does not change the 3-shot kill range at all. So it's exactly the same as the 9mm default rounds on there. So the only difference between this and the 9mm rounds is that it actually increases the second or the first damage drop off, which is making it to where it's a 4-shot kill potential. That range is increased or essentially doubled. So it'll make it to where that in the normal 4-shot kill range, which most 5.56 assault rifles will be killing in, is 4 to 5 shots there. Aside from the M13, that's the only outlier there. But most of them are going to be killing in 4-shot kill. This will extend that, making it to where it is a proper 5.56 assault rifle.
Enemy at the warehouse.
But it still has a 3-shot kill range up close, so it is viable, but it doesn't really do a whole lot for it being a whole SMG. So I think you'd want to play more towards the strength of the gun for it being a little bit faster build and stuff. So I just don't run the 5.56 on there. You can if you want to. It'll add a lot more recoil to the gun. It does seem to kick noticeably more than the normal 9mm rounds. and it doesn't feel as good. So 9mm rounds hit just about the same. They have just a slightly lesser, like 4-shot kill damage range to it. They still have the 3-shot kill potential, and they do shoot faster, so technically it does have a faster time to kill and all of that, and it doesn't kick like crazy. So I recommend just running 9mm rounds right off the bat. Now you can put on the 32 round magazine, which I was using from the beginning. That does put a large amount of movement speed and aim down sight speed, or actually take more of that away, to where it is a lot heavier. So if you don't want to run that, you don't need to. You can put on like sleight of hand or something, and get yourself a smaller like handgun that will be running the same 9mm rounds. You'll still have plenty of backup rounds on there. You don't need to worry about extended mags or anything. And essentially what that will do is leave you with a 25 round magazine, which is exactly the same as a Striker 45 default magazine to it. So you can kind of see, this is what I mean. They have a lot smaller magazine, but way harder hitting potential, and their own different stats in their own right there. So they do play a little bit differently. And it's a definitely interesting kind of build of a gun. But yeah, so I want to go over those two. They're two underrated guns. They feel really good. And I recommend using the AUG because it shoots really fast for it being a 3-shot kill potential still for the gun. If you want more range and a little bit more consistent kills at longer ranges, then roll with the Striker 45. It'll have a lot longer range potential. I think the only difference between these two really when it comes to its actual range is obviously the Striker having a way longer 3-shot kill area, so it is way better in that range, but it also shoots slower.
Enemy at the warehouse.
So as you can see, actually that one is still running the 5.56. Hold on, so I'll show you here. So switch it back to the 9mm. As you can see, the AUG does shoot a little bit faster than the UMP, so the AUG has a way less, like a way shorter range for the 3-shot kill area, but it does shoot faster, so it is a little bit more forgiving. So it's in a weird kind of area there. So it's really up to your guys' kind of play style. If you guys miss too many shots or you're not really the most accurate, run with the AUG. It'll still give you a pretty good amount of chances of getting a 3-shot kill. If you're way more accurate at longer ranges and stuff, and you're way better at landing your shots, the Striker 45 is for you. And personally, I do like this one a lot. Both of them are really good. I can't really say you can go wrong with either of them. They're just a really cool kind of setup for guns here. Again, I don't really recommend using the 5.56 rounds unless, or for the 5.56 rounds for the AUG, unless you want a lot longer 4-shot kill range, which I don't really see personally to be really important when you get so many upsides just from the default ammo. So, but that's really up to you guys. Again, you can mix these attachments up to being whatever preference you would want, but these are the ones that I found to be most beneficial towards me anyway. As you can see, they don't really move and they're pretty laser beam accurate. I think this has gone on a pretty good while, so tell me what you guys think about this whole class of weapons. I didn't really think about, you know, having these kind of class of weapons here because they are their own subclass in their own SMG category here.
Okay.
So I think the only other two guns that kind of fall in the same line again is the Uzi with a certain ammo conversion to that to turn to where it's a 3-shot kill. And you also have, I think, the Bison or the PP19 Bison, but I have to go check on that again. I think that's a 3-shot kill, but it's very odd, so I'm gonna have to go back to that. But that's a real slow killing kind of gun, despite it having a little recoil and stuff, but it has a large amount of magazine capacity, so I don't know, it's kind of a weird gun. But yeah, so it has its own like little subclass there, much like the battle rifles and the light assault rifles and stuff in their own little area. So again, tell me what you guys think about the whole deal, if you guys actually use these guns, prefer them over the normal lighter, faster shooting kind of guns, and why you like them so much. And aside from that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.